Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. So if you're Pisces, sorry, you're a jerk.
Wax on, wax off.
Cut that out.
There's two of them.
You know.
I sound like a cheater right now. I sound like someone who's cheating.
Yeah. Trying to show my gratitude for their kind.
Free drink. They're like, this girl doesn't know how to count. I needed it at least.
I think more people in this family are in therapy than they did go to college.
I think shots fired at me. I think computer programming counts as college. Okay, it counts. Hey, I'm Matt.
Hey, I'm Morgan.
And this is
Doors Open.
This is a special Valentine's episode. This is my sister, Morgan. She's my younger sister. And cheers. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I hate wine.
Ooh,
So,
it's good.
I was thinking this is a big day, especially for a girl. What's like the coolest thing you received from Valentine's Day? Or like the worst, whichever.
The worst thing I ever received on Valentine's Day was a Tiffany's chain necklace
That's the worst?
No. Where
Yeah, it must be easy being a girl.
the story continues.
Silver?
The story continues. It was one of those like classic Tiffany chain necklaces that
Like
all the
the
girls
classic.
wanted in like the 2000s, and it was in a Tiffany's box, and I absolutely loved it. It was beautiful until about a month later, it started to peel a little bit. And I started to see that it was not real. And so the person who gave it to me never disclosed that information. So I would have to say that's one of the worst Valentine's gifts.
You know, that's my little sister. I'm gonna beat your ass, whoever it was.
Yeah,
Just tell me after, text me the name. Because that's dirty. You can't give girls fake jewelry.
well, it's okay to get fake jewelry if
If they know it's fake.
No,
Because
it's
you're
fake.
you're telling people, hey, this is Tiffany's, and then next thing you know, it's rubbing off on your skin.
Yeah,
And you look bad.
Like it was a necklace, and my neck started turning green, and I started to have a reaction to it, and then I saw that the metal was starting to peel. So yeah, they got me.
Got you good. Happy Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
so that definitely I would say is the worst Valentine's gift. I would say the best Valentine's gift that I ever gotten. I've been really blessed with a lot of different Valentine's gifts. I mean, from trips to St. Thomas, right? Is it St. Thomas? Yeah, the Virgin Islands, complete expenses paid trip, 10-day trip there. That was a really great trip. And Valentine's gift. What?
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like it's really fun being a girl on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite, but definitely a grooming story, I would have to say. That
How old are you?
I was like 18 years old,
Okay.
but my partner then was
Okay. Yeah. I got it. I know the story.
yeah.
It all makes sense. This tracks, by the way. This all tracks.
Yeah, but it was a good Valentine's Day gift.
You know, with my sister, I learned with you, I learned that if I tried hard to push you away from somebody, it just made you go closer.
Further.
To them. Yeah. No.
Away from you.
Away
Further
from me.
you.
Yeah. Away from me and closer to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I learned, I was like, I got to keep a distance and not share too much because, you know, you always did. You would say that you'd have to go through the process of the mistake rather than like listening to like wise advice. You're like, you have to go through the process. I have to gotta like.
I'm the kind of person that needs to like make sure the stove burns. Like, you know how they say like, oh, do you have to touch a stove to know it's hot? Yeah, I have to like touch it a few times. I'm like, oh yeah, I think this is not safe. That is me. I need to know for myself that this is not good for me.
So you don't trust anybody. That's what I got from that.
No, I don't. It's not that I don't trust anybody. I am an Aquarius, and we tend to be pretty rebellious. So I'm using that card, guys.
Yeah.
Aquariuses, we're rebellious. Do you agree?
Well, I'm a Pisces. What does that say about me?
I have no idea, actually.
Damn, I guess Aquarius are self-absorbed and only pay attention to what.
I just know that Pisces. I know that Pisces. They're a little bit more on the sensitive side. They tend to be a little bit more emotional. ladies, guys, do you guys agree that Pisces are a little bit more soft than the Aquarius?
I mean, I will say I am very sensitive to the point. Wait, I'm very sensitive, but I am not sensitive. Like I'm empathetic. You know, I hear people out and I go, "Oh, I get that." But myself, I don't know. I'm as hard as they come. I think. No,
Are you saying that your feelings don't get hurt?
no,
That sounds like a Pisces thing to
I'm rock
say.
solid. Rock solid.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I'm definitely I can't blame it on the Aquarius card, but when I can use that, I do. But no, I'm definitely the type of person that has to learn for herself, like if something's good or bad for her.
Wouldn't you say?
But I never did drugs, so that's one thing I didn't need to do for myself.
Would you say in life that's caused you to get hurt more in relationships? Because you're constantly giving people the benefit of doubt, probably, not listening to your friends. Hey, they're doing this, they're doing that. And you just kind of like, no, I'm just going to trust them and get burned.
I think what comes into play there is kind of that what if. Basically, like if I listen to my brother or my sister or my friends and they tell me like, "Hey, this person's not good for you," and I end things, which I've done that before. What lingers after that is that what if I would have just given them a chance? What and also our friends and family, I mean, I know that I'm definitely guilty of this. They don't hear about all the good things
Sure.
that someone does, right? Like when you're talking to your friends, you're gossiping with your friends or your family, you're usually like
Complaining about
complaining
things.
about what your partner did or what they didn't do. You're not talking about all the little things that they do on a daily. So I think I'm definitely guilty of that. So knowing that I see the good in people that I'm dating, and that's kind of why I don't really listen to people because they don't see like the full picture.
I would say out of the siblings, you are one of the better ones at looking at it at both sides.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like, well, I don't know, like when I hurt my hand, you're like, you deserve that. And I'm like, yeah. And because
Yeah.
I'm very honest. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I did deserve that because it's true.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's important when you're trying to seek advice from someone that they're not always going to be your cheerleader. Obviously, you want them to be your cheerleader, but you also want them to help guide you in growing. Like I have a best friend who always comes to me on like relationship issues or just everyday things. And I'll tell her when she's being crazy. And she knows that. That's why she goes to me for everything. I'm like, girl, are you sure? Like, maybe you're the one that's, kind of crossing the line
is it
here.
okay to call a girl crazy though?
If you're a girl.
Okay, I was gonna say because I've done it and it never ended well. For
Yeah,
me.
no. If you're a girl, ladies, you can say crazy. Boys, no.
Yeah, because I've called my wife crazy in a fun way, and she didn't take it fun. It was just it's always like, don't call me crazy. But
You know what that takes me to? The debate of, do you think if you say someone like, I'm not going to say the B word, but if someone's like, you're being a B right now, is that the same as calling them the B? Or you're just telling them in this moment that they're being a B?
I guess it's in the context of that conversation, because obviously if you're fighting with someone and you're like, you're acting crazy, they're gonna take it as like you're calling me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's in a like a second person scenario, you're like, that's a little crazy, right? You probably wouldn't take it as hard. So if you're in
Yeah.
direct conflict, I can see how someone could be mad.
Yeah.
But
No.
you're like I said, you're a really good mediator in like relationship issues. I bet you're like the go-to in your group, your friend group, that when there's an issue, people go to you. Yes?
Yeah. No, definitely. And speaking of which, one of the things that kind of stuck with me, my therapist said when I was like 18 years old, which was forever ago, was that when you're upset, right, and you're like, hey, you're being like, are you upset? Are you like, are you mad? Doesn't that usually make you more upset? I mean, is that just me? Like, if someone asks you, hey, are you a little mad? Are you okay? Does it make you more upset that they're acknowledging that or they're calling you out?
Well, it depends if they're the one that caused the anger, right? Like a lot of people will say,
Most cases, yes.
yeah, and yeah, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just best to walk away and give some space. And what do we always do when that happens though? When someone's like, I need some space, you chase them down, right? That's one thing you have to learn in therapy.
Yeah.
That in therapy,
Yes.
where
The push pull.
yeah.
Yep.
So you just gotta give them space and not worry about it. Because I used to just like, no, we gotta finish this now. We gotta finish this conversation now, and it never worked out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Even if I was right,
No,
because one thing I
agree.
learned is I'm a very logical person, but when I have a tone, you know this, you're my
Yeah.
sister. I've got a tone, even when I'm right. but my tone's so nasty, like I still feel like the dick in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, "You're a dick," and I'm like, "I guess I am." Everyone's calling me a jerk.
It's a Pisces thing.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. So if you're Pisces, sorry, you're a jerk by default.
That must be the trait. But yeah, no. In this family, we do therapy because therapy is cool.
It's almost like a family tradition in ours, to just go to therapy. You turn 18, you go to a therapist.
Oh, no. Yeah. You definitely go to therapy before you even, apply for college in this family.
Oh, honestly, I think I was ready for therapy by grade school. I needed it at least.
I think more people in this family are in therapy than they did go to college.
I think shots fired at me, I think. Computer programming counts as college, okay? It counts. I didn't do anything with it though. Like most people don't do anything with what they went to school for. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
Dude, everything costs so much right now though.
Yeah. No, seriously. It's a problem.
No, with the way everything is, like groceries and everyone, tip culture is freaking insane right now.
Oh, tip culture is out of control. As someone who has always, my siblings have always taught me, it's important to tip your servers. Like I remember when I was younger, and the minimum you could do was like 15%, right? That was like, oh, 15%, that's a great tip, Morgan. Like always tip 15%. And then if they're really good, 20%. Or not even 20%. It was like, if they're really good, 18%. But now it's like, I go to like a coffee shop and it's like the minimum is like starting at 22% now. So I don't, what has happened?
I really do believe people expect more than 20%. Like anything less, they're like, this is a crappy tipper.
20% is the new 10% in tipping.
I feel weird too, because when I was younger and I'd go out to clubs or whatever, or to a bar, and I would tip 20%.
That was a long time ago.
It wasn't a long time ago.
That was Vision days. It's Vision.
All right, so if you guys are from Atlanta, Vision. That's the days I'm talking about. But I would tip 20% plus or more on drinks, and I didn't know that wasn't what you're supposed to do. Because if I buy like 4 shots of Patron, like that's $80. So I'm like, I'm just giving them a hundo and be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's way too much, I think.
Yeah, no, I always...
4 shots, easy.
I always had the question, the debate that I've asked people, like when you're at a bar and you're like just running up and you order a beer or something, do most people tip like by the percentage of it? Do they tip by like cash, like, oh, I have $2, here you go? Or do they tip like a kind of a standard amount, like every time they go to the bar? Like, oh, every time I go to the bar, $5. So
yeah, someone told me like it's per drink, like $2 per drink. I didn't know that because I've been over tipping my entire life.
I feel like though, like these days, if you were to tip, like if I were to go to a bar and get a cocktail and I tipped only $2, I think I would get some ugly looks for that.
Oh, 100%. And I think when you're a guy, you can't even try to do that. Like, I think everyone expects us to pay more.
Yeah. And also, like, speaking of which, do you know, like, as a woman, we tend to get, the hookups, right? Like, the bartender wants to pour more drinks for us in our
Miss Tiffany bracelet. Oh, people think we get hooked up. Oh, we're going to St. Bart's this weekend. Whatever. Okay.
So the bartenders tend to like throw a little extra drink here and there. So when you get the check, right, do you tip even more than you normally would? Like what the price would be? Like, for example, there's a bar that I go to and I'll get free drinks all the time and they'll charge me maybe for like 1 shot. So like $5 or $10, depending on what it is. And maybe I'll get like 8 shots. So $10 for 8 shots is pretty good.
I just told you back in 2001, I paid $100 for 4 shots. In 2002, 2003.
I think
you're drinking 8 shots, like $5. I don't know. Am I overpaying?
No, I'm saying like, so I'll get charged for like $5 for like 8 shots. And so how do you tip on that? Usually what I do is I'll tip even more than if they charge me full price, like more than 20%. So I actually end up paying more than you do.
I think you're being dumb with all this. I don't think you have to do that for it to be a good tip.
I want to show my appreciation. I'm
not
like,
thinking
thank you.
I'm giving her 8 drinks. I hope she pays me for 30. No, they're giving you 8 drinks.
I'm trying to show my gratitude for their kind
free drink. They're like, this girl doesn't know how to count. Just keep giving her drinks. She gets confused and gives lots of money.
I mean, that might be true.
But hey, I gotta call BS on this. I honestly feel like you go out and people are just buying you drinks. I feel like every girl, they just go out and then people just like there's a line of drinks waiting for them.
So it depends. Like back in my
You didn't say no.
back in my days, back in my wild days in my 20s, my early 20s, I was really big on if a guy offered you a drink, that if you said yes, he was expecting something from you. And so if a guy offered me a drink and I wasn't interested, which most of the time, I wasn't, because I was kind of like a habitual relationship person and I was still go out with my friends. But if a guy offered me a drink, I literally would say, no, I'm good because I don't plan on leaving with you tonight. That would be the first thing that I said.
Okay. I regret my questions.
I mean, I just want to be upfront from the start. Like if someone
It makes me think about all the drinks you took.
there were no. But yeah, no, like maybe I wouldn't say like, no, I'm not going out with you tonight.
That's good though, because to be fair, not me particularly, but because I'm also someone who's always in a relationship. And I've been with the same person for like almost 20 years. Like the best years of my life are gone. It's over. I'm just joking, but no, she's very pretty. So like she's prettier than I deserve. She's prettier than I deserve. But what I'm saying is that at least you're telling guys, hey, I'm not expecting anything, or I don't want anything from you, because most guys are expecting something like a dance or a phone number, and you're just letting them know off the bat that I'm not interested in anything.
Mhm.
Because we've talked about this on our show. Guys are creepy. Guys will follow girls around. Like, I bet you've got some crazy stories about guys that's, I've been following you all day and you're just so fast and I couldn't keep up with, things like that.
Yeah, one time, when I was 17, I got arrested. And so I got arrested when I was 17 years old, and I was booked in the county jail, right? And so it wasn't overnight because, thank you, my family came to rescue me. It was nothing serious. It was just a guilty by association thing. Yes, yeah. So nothing serious. I didn't do any like serious crime or anything like that. But anyway,
You were just there and someone.
I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, essentially. But basically, the next day, I got a phone call from the police officer that was booking me.
I remember that.
And I was like very, caught off guard. I was very confused. I was very creeped out that this, officer got my personal information, and I was 17 at the time, and called me and asked me out on a date. So definitely have had my fair share of creepy guys.
Well, I'm not surprised that a police officer did that. Me personally, I'm not surprised.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. I mean, I've had all my interactions. I mean, you know this. I've been pulled over so many times, and this is like going to get controversial, but I've had guns pulled on me by police officers more than half a dozen times.
I've been a witness of that.
For literally nothing. I'm like, why? I'm like, why are you pointing a gun at me? But
Yeah.
so yeah, we can talk about it a different time, but like back to the whole, the creepy guy scenario, it sucks. And I promise you, most guys, 99% of guys never have to deal with that on the receiving end. Like there's no girls following me around trying to like, hey, I saw you at the gym, and that doesn't happen to 99% of us.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I bet when you go to the gym, it's like, do you dress down or do you dress up?
I usually dress. I'm a dress down t-shirt, big t-shirt, kind of biker shorts kind of girl at the gym.
And do you get bothered?
Yes. It's kind of interesting. I always get hit on the most when I look the absolute worst. If you need a confidence boost, girls, go to the gas station. That will be your confidence boost there.
Oh, the other day I was talking to you and you told me that I asked you, do people consider you young when you go out? And you said, no,
No,
not anymore.
not
And
anymore.
when I look at my little baby sister, I see a 12-year-old. And so it's weird for me that people look at you and they find you attractive or like even of age, because I look at you, I'm like, she's a little kid. So it's just strange.
Yeah, no, that's
I don't know if that's got to do anything with anything.
isn't it
or it's
wait,
just
but
me
isn't it kind of interesting though as we get older? I know that like, when I was younger and you guys were all like 10 plus years older than me, I always thought like, wow, like 30 is so old. Like, oh my God, that's like ancient. But now that I'm in my 30s, I still feel so young inside. Like I still feel like a kid inside.
No.
No.
That changed at 40.
No.
Right, right after that 40th birthday, you're like, oh, I'm back. Like, I sleep wrong. And like, I would sleep wrong. And you think I got in a car accident. I had to go to the chiropractor. I'm like, yeah, he was, what happened? I'm like, oh, I slept with my socks on,
I mean, I don't mean like that. Like, I definitely like need my beauty sleep now. Before I could, rage until 3 a.m. and be fine for work by 6:30 a.m. I mean, like, I just feel so youthful. Like, I still think the same way. Like,
Oh, no, I
Like,
agree.
there's still like a very childlike,
Yeah,
personality.
I don't feel like an adult.
Yeah.
If you watch the show, I'm very
It makes you
immature.
realize when we were younger, all of these adults actually
Faking
had
it.
no idea what they were doing.
Everyone's just faking it to make it. Everyone's just like putting on a show what they like, almost like a costume of what an adult is acting like. Because we all just want to do the same things we did when we were kids. Like I would love it to just like go play outside with sticks. Sometimes I do with my friends. We go camping and I'm like, cool, this is a cool stick.
No, I love camping. Like there's just nothing about like going out hiking and that brings that like kid back out. I don't know. Like that's just how I feel.
I think because our family were jungle people. And it's in our blood.
I mean, yes.
It's in our blood.
It is in our blood.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
connected to the earth.
When you go back, I mean, I feel like the first people that were in this world were probably Cambodians. I don't know. That's very controversial. Maybe.
The first ever. You heard it here. Not the Sumerians. It was Khmer. It was Khmer people.
Khmer people, guys.
But don't feel bad, but this happens every time on the show. We go off the rails. And we were talking about tipping culture.
I feel like we went through like 5 chapters, in this.
We're catching up to my sister, and and you told everyone my age. You said he's like in his 40s or something. I you know what? I don't know if I look 40, but I don't feel 40.
You do.
Oh,
yeah.
And we know. I look like I'm in my 40s.
Maybe a little bit older.
My 50s. I was like, oh man. So you said like typical culture was ridiculous, and when you're younger, you weren't sure if it's like 15%, and now it's gone up.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like now the bare minimum that's acceptable is like 20 or like 22%, and so like. Back to the story when I was talking about like me and my cousin were on the Beltline. So actually like she was like starting to have like a heat stroke and I was really worried. So I like ran and darted. I mean, this was like, I think on like, it was Memorial Day weekend. And so everything was hot, hot Atlanta, Georgia weather, and everything was closed around us. And so I had to run to like the nearest donut shop. And I grabbed a water and I paid, and then he turns the famous little iPad and it says, "Would you like to tip 18, 20, or 22%?" And I'm like over here trying to save my cousin's life, and I'm like, okay, like 22%. I don't know, just give me the water. And so I paid for it. I go running, but like literally, I grabbed the water from the fridge myself. Yeah. So. I mean, no offense to this person, but did they deserve 22% tip for me grabbing the water myself?
No, it's ridiculous. And actually, even after COVID, a lot of times you had to do things yourself. They would have, because I've gone to, restaurants where you're walking up and they're just giving you food it's like nicer places too, at the bar. This is like during COVID time, and you're still tipping. I'm like, who serviced me?
Yeah.
There's no service.
I think that's kind of what happened, right? Yeah. Like during COVID, everyone was like, what are we going to do about like our service people? And don't get me wrong, like I was one of those people.
Yeah.
Like they relied on tips for their, like their life.
We had a family restaurant.
Yeah. So I don't get me wrong, like don't let me say that I am all about the service people, but I do think that it has become more of like an expectation now, whereas before it was more like a kind gesture, like, hey, thank you so much for your service. Like, I want to show my gratitude with this tip. Now it feels like, like, and me as a people pleaser, I'm just giving money left and right. I'm paying, more than I should for 8 shots, apparently. so, I just think that it's kind of gotten out of control and.
I think it would be great. And it's crazy that in America that they put it on the customer to pay a living wage to the servers,
Yeah.
which should be on the establishment,
Yeah.
right? And like you feel bad when you like, let's say you're in a bad situation and you can't. It doesn't make sense for you to tip 25%. It just doesn't make sense. So you're tipping 15%, and
Which
it's
is
really
still
more.
good.
It's still good, but it's
Yeah.
more than you probably can afford. But you don't want to feel bad, and at the same time, it's not your responsibility. It shouldn't be to give this person a living wage. This is the responsibility of the establishment. And what happens if you don't get a good tip because you're doing your job, but maybe you didn't smile big enough for them, or
Yeah.
or whatever? They have other things going on, or you're really busy.
Yeah, everyone's different, right? Some people may prefer someone who's like super fast and efficient and didn't give any sort of like hospitality like to that person. Some people like more of a hospitality like environment with their server. You know, everyone's different, so
It's tough because like the debate would be, how much do you pay people, right? Do you pay them $20 an hour and take away tips? Some people will think that's great,
Yeah.
right? But some people who make really good money tipping would hate that, and they would
Yeah.
go, "Why would I even, bartend if I'm making this much?"
Yeah, no, exactly. And just the simple fact of I could go to a restaurant and I can order myself like a filet mignon steak, and the person next to me like order like a salad, and we're there at the same amount of time. We're both there, for an hour. But who's going to pay more money as far as tip goes? I am with the steak. So, is percentage really the metric
That's a
that we should be
great
using for
point.
tipping? You know?
Or time?
Yeah.
Something or time?
Yeah. Should it be percentage based? I'm not sure about that.
That's tough. That's good. That's juicy. But let's get into it. Let's find out some.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. It's Valentine's Day.
Take a little sip.
Okay. Slow down, girl. Don't forget to tip. All right. So, am I the asshole for throwing away my ex-husband's Valentine's gift for his affair partner? So essentially, this is the side piece.
Wait. So the gift is for the side piece.
Sounds like, yes. And just so you know, on this show, what we do, we make judgments off the title, and we interrupt immediately. We don't wait.
That's what you start with.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the wife is trying to figure out if they're
Maybe the wife, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, your husband.
yeah.
No, she said husband. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
could be a husband still.
it could be.
So basically, this person is trying to say, like, are they the a-hole for throwing away their ex-husband's Valentine's gift? But the confusing thing is it the ex-husband?
It's the gift for them. So they're having an affair, right? And so let's say you're cleaning up and you found like a locket and it says to Jennifer, and you're like, I'm not Jennifer, and you throw it away. That's essentially what's happening.
I don't think you're the a-hole.
I don't think so either.
I don't think you're the a-hole.
No.
If I found another person's gift in my partner's, like, I don't know, possession, I mean, that it's probably going to disappear. I agree.
100%. But let's find out. Maybe it's going to make sense. We don't know. My husband, 34 male, and I, 38 female.
Okay, now we know.
Well, she's actually robbing the cradle. She's 4 years older. Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Love it, Cougars.
Have been separated for a year, and the divorce was final last year. Okay, this changes everything.
Okay.
Divorced.
Okay.
But this is why we do this.
You are the a-hole.
Maybe. We don't even know. I'm one sentence in. There's like 40 sentences. We'll see what happens. About 3 years prior, I caught him in an affair in which he cried and promised things would change and he would never do it again. I was stupid, believed him, and stayed. After countless infidelities, I finally found enough sense and respect for myself to leave the relationship. This man gaslighted me to the 9th degree about his affairs, to the point where he said I needed therapy for the marriage to continue, for my false assumptions. So he's gaslighting the hell out of her.
Mm-hmm.
He's cheating. He's a habitual cheater, and he's just, no, you're crazy. You need to talk to somebody about your insecurities.
Wow.
Have you ever been through that?
I've been there.
Because you look like, when I said that, you're like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah, no.
And you're in therapy for it.
Yeah, that's why I'm in therapy.
Maybe they were right. I'm joking. False assumptions and questioning his trust. In fact, solid proof of his multiple affairs were found days after the last "you need therapy" for "you're not trusting me" speech. This was the same day I asked for a divorce. Found out through mutual friends he is expecting, and this conception date.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, he's a busy guy, and their conception date would
I
be
need
with
photos. I need to
of their
see.
baby.
I need to see what this husband looks like. It's always the ugly ones that do this.
Is it though?
It is so
Is it? Is that a thing?
it is a thing. And they always downgrade, right? Like they always cheat with something like the Walmart version of you.
I didn't know that was a thing because in my what I would think is the good looking guy has more options to cheat, but you're thinking the ugly guy doesn't know when the options come, so he cheats when he can.
When it's like this, it's usually an ugly guy.
Oh man, bro, you ugly. Let's just say he's ugly. He's got ugly personality.
He does have an ugly personality, so he deserves this.
Yeah, you deserve being called ugly. Okay, so there's that, and as you can imagine, this has been a lot to deal with, and having to keep in contact with him to complete the divorce proceedings and removing his name from my house was painful. Fast forward 1 year to today. He has not lived here for a year. This is my house. His name is not on it anywhere. And I still get mail for him here and there, in which I have to constantly kindly ask him via text to change his address, for which he says he did not and will double check it every time. Well, I don't know why you're even saying this part, but it's fine. She's just talking about her mail.
Yeah.
Okay. This mail includes things like insurance cards for his new affair baby. Just
She is really, yeah.
I mean, it's a constant
for a good
reminder.
reason.
I
For a
get
good
it.
reason.
Like, you're getting.
I almost think that he's kind of doing it on purpose, or he's just being negligent. I don't know.
That's another angle that I didn't think about.
Yeah. Like, hey, like you divorced me.
Mental warfare.
Yeah.
there.
You get to see all the things that's going on in my life,
See my debt, my insurance, all those things I got to pay for. Just last week, he has picked up the last of his belongings, an important mail which I've held for months, waiting for him to pick up. Celebrated, this would be the last time I would ever need to contact him or see him again. Yesterday, I received the package, and without thinking, I opened it on my way to the door, thinking it was one of my mini Amazon buys. Laugh out loud.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, yeah. I've
I
opened my
did it
life
today.
Yeah, not yours, and just
It
open.
was my sister's package.
It feels like Christmas every day when you see it.
I know. I get so excited.
I think they know that it's an addictive thing, and you can't help yourself. But she does that. Well, it's a jewelry box with two rather cheap-looking necklaces inside. Something I didn't order. I double-checked the shipping label, and it's in my ex-husband's name. This is clearly a Valentine's present for the new girl. The rhinestones are green, which I immediately recognize as her month's birthstone. What? How does she know her?
Sounds like a Scorpio.
All right, someone's into zodiacs. That's like the fifth reference she's made. Do you fortune tell?
No.
No? Would you?
Yes.
Figured. Oh, would you not date someone because of their sign? Like if someone's like, I'm a Gemini.
It definitely makes it harder for them to get out of that hole.
I want to get a hot take from you. So, like, what's the one sign is like a huge red flag? Like the reddest flags.
I would say Virgo.
Ooh. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virgo.
Yeah, them Virgos. Okay. He has never ordered from this company when we were together. So I would have understood if he had an existing account which had an old address. But I don't see that in this case. At this point, I just feel like almost it's intentional, like you said. That's what she feels.
Yeah.
How many-
Seems sus to me.
It's a little sus. How many times can one person put the wrong address? This man is very much a narcissist, but even I don't know if he would go that far to just be stupid. So she doesn't know. She's like, man, I think maybe. Would
Yeah.
I be the asshole for throwing away the whole package in the trash? I looked it up and it was under $80 and not fine jewelry by any means. Also, I really wanted to go no contact moving forward, so I'd rather not text him if it can be avoided. I would be lying if I said I didn't still harbor resentment and hate, but I feel guilty not giving someone something they paid for. You're not the asshole. Fuck him.
No. she's definitely not the a-hole.
And for the record, that's my first cuss word I've made today. And if you watch this show, that meter would have been full by now. 1. Okay.
Zinger.
So, not the asshole? Or asshole?
No, definitely not the a-hole. I mean, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, right?
I mean, look, it's not that expensive. And you just went through a divorce. Divorces are expensive, man. They're pricey. So this is a small thing. He cheated on you multiple times. So he deserves whatever you do, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he definitely had it coming. It sounds like he gaslit her through their entire relationship and cheated on her. So she does not owe this person anything or any kind of grace, in my opinion.
I'm definitely not a pro cheater person, but I will say that in that relationship, sometimes cheating is not the end of that relationship. Like if
Yeah.
people
can work it out.
They can work it out.
I'm not pro cheating either, but I definitely think, people make mistakes and when you really love and care about someone that if you guys make the mutual decision to actually let things go and forgive each other, then I do think that cheating doesn't have to be the end of a relationship.
I actually think that people talk too much about their relationships to their friends because when you do that, you're forced in a position. Let's say someone made a mistake and they cheated, which is a horrible mistake. And I'm not saying it should be forgiven. It's in that, like we said, that relationship, right? But you tell your friends, and all suddenly, you have all this pressure. Oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. All these things, all these ears. But like you said earlier, no one really knows all the good stuff too. They just hear the bad stuff.
Yeah,
and there's so much more in a relationship than the last 24 hours or something. You build a life with somebody, and
especially if it's like,
I sound like a cheater right now. I sound like someone who's cheating.
Yeah, no, you definitely seem guilty. No, I personally,
the ugly ones.
Do it. I told you. It's the ugly ones. No, but I would be absolutely devastated if I was ever cheated on. But I will say that if you've really invested time into someone and love into someone, and there was trust there, and someone made one hiccup, which, I say this with like on a high horse, like, yeah, you can forgive them. Maybe I wouldn't. But I do think that you should be able to try to work it out if it's like a one and done. But if it's someone like habitually cheating like this guy, I mean, it sounds like it was a real issue.
He's gaslighting you about it. He didn't like own his mistakes. It's not like he came to you and said, hey, look, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. I was weak, whatever. He just lied about it the whole time. I will say that I do ask my wife crazy scenarios, and I ask her questions like this. Hey, babe, what if I was on a plane and it crashed and the only people that survived were me and Scarlett Johansson, and we're on this island for like 6 months and we hook up? Like, are you going to be upset?
Yes, I would.
She said no.
Really?
Yeah, she said no. She said, no, I get it. She said, I do the same thing with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
What?
So then I had more questions.
I mean, who wouldn't with Scarlett Johansson?
I mean,
she's gorgeous.
Yeah,
she's beautiful.
So I get a pass for Scarlett Johansson, in case she's watching.
I mean, I feel like, doesn't everyone have like a celebrity hall pass?
Yeah. So what I do,
whether you're about to die or not, right?
So where that comes from for a lot of the young people on Friends, there was this list that one of the Friends is a sitcom, and he had this list of celebrities that he would hook up with, right? And that's where all that comes from. And I would tell my wife, because they never said celebrities, and so I would tell my wife people she knew was on my list. I would just like say, oh, your mom.
So who would be your number one on your hall pass then?
On my hall pass? Jesus. Oh my gosh. Scarlett Johansson. No, I don't know.
That's your number one?
I don't know. I'm old, right? So I know there's a lot. Okay, well, who should be my number one then?
I mean, I don't know. I just know your type. Usually like the dark-haired, doe-eyed girls,
Okay,
Scarlett Johansson is literally like a blonde, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just...
I'll have to work through it. I'll push through, Scarlett Johansson. I'll push through this. I'll make it work. No, but who do you think, okay, who would, knowing me, if you've known me your entire life?
It's the one girl who has a really hard to pronounce name on White Lotus with the really pretty blue eyes, dark hair, Anna Daria. I don't know.
Dario.
Yeah. That seems like your hall pass.
I will say this. I will say this. That's funny you mention her because every time she's on anything.
Katie looks at you
Katie
like
goes,
this.
I'm not hating, but there's something about her that I don't like. And I'm like, really? I think she's gorgeous. Yeah. And she's on a show called like some witch show, like Mayfield Witches. I don't know. But yeah, she's bad. Yeah, it's true. I mean, she's kind of pale.
Yeah, right.
I don't really
No,
I go for,
Katie is way hotter.
yeah, I don't go for like fair skinned girls. They gotta have like some melanin.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Okay. Katie does not have that either.
No, she's the tan skin. She's tan skin.
It's like, is it the lighting? I don't know.
It's the tan skin, man.
Yeah, no. Everyone has a little hop.
So who's on your list? Celebrity.
Cara Delevingne.
I don't know who that is. Oh, I do know who that is.
I don't know if I said her name right. I'm really bad at celebrity names, but yeah,
She's kind of skinny, right?
yeah, but she just has this edge to her, that's just, like she's definitely my number one. Give me a call, Cara Delevingne. I'm just kidding.
Doors open.
No.
Okay, on to the next. All right. Am I the asshole for deleting my roommate's dating app profile because she kept bringing home strangers every night?
First of all, how did you delete her profile?
I don't know. Maybe she like sleeping. She used her face and
that is some.
I thought about this.
Okay, yeah, no, continue. I want to know.
But do you think she's the asshole?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have experience with creating dating app profiles, but I've helped my friends do it, and it takes a lot of work. You got to pick the right photos, the right prompts.
But obviously, this has become an issue. Like she's bringing home strangers, and every night, and it's causing an issue. And you know what? We don't even know. Maybe this is the girlfriend. Like she's like, my girlfriend keeps on cheating me every night.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's not it. But I'm just saying, you never know. Because we've been fooled here before.
Yes. What's the plot twist?
Okay. Oh, I don't think you're the asshole, man. I think you're helping your friend. I mean, if she's being promiscuous, you don't want everyone to just know she's being a hoe. You want to help her out. Obviously, she's got some struggles. She's got some like insecurity
issues. It depends.
issues.
If it comes from a good place, then yeah, I understand. But is it coming from a good place?
You're right. That the context of that really does matter. I just feel like sometimes,
I feel like they could have just got like this person could have gone like a better way of doing this, right? Like, hey, like having a conversation with their friend, like, hey, like I'm really worried about you, or even just a simple like, hey, like, I just don't feel safe like with someone being like at the house. Is there something that we can like, coordinate on that?
I just think every girl who goes through a hoe phase eventually regrets it. And you can't prove me wrong because
you got to put your hand on the stove, guys. You got to learn for yourself.
All right, there's two totally different opposites. I'm saying respect yourself, respect your body. She's saying like, no, man, burn it.
Burn it. Baby, learn burn. For yourself, girl.
As
learn for
older
yourself.
Brother, and she's saying this to me. I don't know how I feel about all this. Okay. 26 female, share an apartment with Maddie, 25 male. Oh, female. Oh, sorry. 26 female, share an apartment with Maddie, 25 female, who recently discovered dating apps. Recently? Okay. Oh, she probably was in a relationship her whole life.
Yeah.
And chaos followed. At first, it was harmless fun, hearing about the wild dates, but soon strangers were crashing at our place every night. One guy used my shampoo, another ate my leftover pizza, but the final straw, coming home to half-naked guy passed out on the couch, surrounded by beer bottles, and Maddie didn't even remember his name. In a moment of frustration, I grabbed her phone and deleted her dating app's profile. I thought I'd finally get some peace. Instead, Maddie freaked out, accusing me of violating her privacy. Now she's barely speaking to me. And I'm wondering, did I cross the line or was this justified?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That is tough because that's a shitty situation.
That is a tough
Like you're coming home and you see a dude like naked butt in the air.
I mean, I definitely think she did cross the line because I do think that like your phone is like kind of like a very private thing, right? And so going into her phone in the first place is invading privacy.
I think it's illegal, but yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's two wrongs here, right? Like, would you agree that there's two wrongs here?
Yeah.
And
that's usually the case. The truth is in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you both are a-holes. in my opinion.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. No. It just seems like this is just kind of like one of those cases of like miscommunication, right? If they would just have like, if this friend, this roommate would just have a talk with, I mean, has she had a talk with Maddie?
Sure.
You know?
She didn't specify.
Yeah. Like, has she, did she have this built up and then her final straw, like she just was impulsively grabbed the phone and then deleted the app? Like, I understand why Maddie would be upset about that. Especially if she had no idea that it was a problem in the house.
You know, I'm thinking she's 25, so maybe she's got out of college a little while ago, and she's probably been in a relationship with this guy the whole time. That's why she hasn't been on these dating apps. And what happens typically when someone's in a relationship for a long time and they get out, they wowed out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
She probably wowed out too much. And she's probably a pretty girl, and I'm jumping to so
You're
many.
just assuming.
You know what? I shouldn't assume that, because you know what? It's easy being a girl.
What? It's
Look.
not easy being a girl. Okay.
Let me
Once
ask you
a
a question.
month, guys, you know what I'm talking about.
And once a month, guys, you know who you got to deal with. Guess what? We got to deal with that, right?
Well, yeah, you don't know the pain we're in.
No, you tell us.
You deserve
we
it.
know the pain. You tell us. You think my wife's ever had a period and I didn't hear about it? I hear about it every
True
time.
story. That's
And
true.
I grew up house full of girls.
I just want you to know that we tell our friends too. Okay. So not only do
Wait,
you
so I
know,
shouldn't feel left out?
yeah, not only do you know, but I text my friends. My roommate tells me all the time when she's PMSing.
You guys sync up?
No,
For-
I don't personally
For people who don't know,
because I'm an Aquarius.
a lot of times when women are together, somehow they sync their menstrual cycle.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And so I remember this. I was working at selling cars, right? And I was living with our sister and my girlfriend at the same time. But every week, someone else
Oh,
was on a
gosh.
period. And it was hell for me. So I got it because I had like a work wife, right? I had like a work wife. I had my like very serious girlfriend and I had my sisters. So every week I had to deal with someone else's, stuff. It was a difficult time. I made it through.
It made you a stronger man. Yeah.
Well, I think that's our time.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You come back next week?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll be here.
Well, I'm Matt.
And I'm Morgan.
This is
Doors open.